Good morning. Hello. Hi, Bimero. How are you doing today? Happy Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday today. Hello, Asitsu. How are you? I've got my Earl Grey tea this morning, so hopefully I'll get some caffeine in me and we'll things will be good. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here watching me like forget easy things. Who knows? We'll see. And I'm excited because we're really close to being done with this app. All we have left is delete. So for delete a post, my thought is it's going to be the exact same thing as edit, right? You go into it, and instead of saying edit, we'll just see delete right next to it. And then if you're editing, we go into this mode, and then we don't show the delete. We only show that here. Stacking, hello. How are you doing today? You don't trust a programmer who doesn't consume an unhealthy amount of caffeine. I do remember I've worked with some developers who had to stop drinking caffeine because they started like developing heart palpitations or were having one developer thought that they were having a heart attack, but apparently an unhealthy amount of caffeine can also cause panic attacks, which can make you think that you're having a heart attack, which is really cool. And by cool, I mean that's horrifying. Don't do that. You shouldn't drink more than 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. It can be toxic. I can't even imagine that. Well, I can't imagine because one of my friends and mentors, because he's a super brilliant developer, he was drinking, he loves cold brew. And cold brew already has a enormous amount of caffeine in it. And so he his favorite sort of like bar / cafe that serves cold brew off the tap shut down. And so he went to some store, found like, a bottle of cold brew that he's like, oh, this tastes great, and it has tons of caffeine, and he's all like super high on caffeine every day. And then he eventually told me that he discovered that what he had bought was condensed cold brew. I don't know if condensed is the right word, but it was basically cold brew that you were meant to like not drink out of the bottle. Concentrate. Yeah, okay. So it was concentrated cold brew. Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, yeah, the NBC News thing. Sorry about that, Bimero. Bimero, you're here long enough. You're here often enough. Hold on, let me fix this for you. There. Bimero, made you a VIP. You can now share links. Just be but yeah, so like he was apparently drinking an insane dangerous amount of caffeine every day because it was concentrate, but it was like double concentrate. It was like more concentrate than most cold brews. It was like, it had instructions on a bottle. You must mix this with water. Like, this is not a drink you drink in a morning. This is you buy this bottle and it lasts you for a week or something like that. And he was drinking one every day because he was too tired to like look at the bottle and actually see what it was. So he was drinking an insane amount of caffeine. And he's like, oh, yeah, I feel so much better now. Huh. Once he actually figured that out. So yeah, be careful. Caffeine and Tylenol both carry dangers. Yeah, it does. Caffeine, when I drink the most amount of caffeine, it's usually, I think the most I've ever drunk is like 300 or so, 320. And then I never drink them together. Like usually I drink slow, and I drink them like at opposite ends of the day if I need, like, that's like when I was like, okay, I need to stay up late, this is like an emergency type thing. The rest of it is more of like, okay, I brew like, you know, 1 packet of Earl Grey little tea for like 1 minute, and that's it. Yeah, I don't think I've ever well, okay, I've never recently jittered from caffeine. And food is a good counter to caffeine. So like if it's too much caffeine in a drink, but you need some caffeine, you could also add a little bit of food in there. It's not good for digestion, but it will counter some of the caffeine, or not really filter it because it's still in your system, but like it won't affect us quite as much. I'm guessing it still counts towards the 400 milligrams limit per day. So don't think that this is like a way to drink 800 milligrams of caffeine. That's not going to help you. All right. Now that we've talked about our caffeine, when them Prime energy drinks came out, I had coworkers drinking them like 2 back to back and didn't realize they're, so I never played it, but they're, what's that game that has like the energy drinks as the as like the product placement? It was like the super like hyped game. Oh, about like the message deliverer guy. It's the walking simulator thing. Yeah, Death Stranding. That's it. They had the Monster Energy ad placement. And that's so dangerous. Like it was encouraging. Yeah, so just take hey, we could just take a look at it. So Death Stranding, what was it? It was like in the room, it was like Monster. I have save search on, but just in case. Oh yeah, they have plenty of these. So let's see. Oh, of course, advertisement. All right, well, I have to go through this apparently. So here's in Death Stranding, and they're gonna show yep. And you could drink as many of them as you want, right back to back to back in the game. Like the game just encourages chugging an insane amount of caffeine. The cans do look amazingly good. I'm not gonna watch that. That is awful. Yeah. Zilby, we delayed it long enough for you to join us. Hello. Do you want to lie down, or are you gonna sit up? So yeah, I don't like energy drinks that have sugar added to them. Apparently it was removed in the director's cut release. Yeah, from what I understand, it was a product placement and it was only for like the main release. So as soon as like director's cut, that wasn't the agreement in their contracts, they removed them and replaced them with like some generic like not caffeine. But yeah, I'm all for like product placement. I think is a great way of like doing advertisements that's not like in your face, but not ones that like if you then the game allows you to do a dangerous action with them. That doesn't seem good. All right. So let's see. We want a delete button over there. Let's go see if we could add that. So this is going to be in the one post. Are you tired? Oh, I'm sorry. I've got a cable on your bed. Okay, so we got that. Let's go down to our HTML. Ooh, wait. This is the pages. Okay, so if we're editing state, we get that one. Else if we get this button, and so I want another button. And then you will be, we'll just say delete. Okay, so now we have our delete button there. Obviously, nothing happens when we click it yet. We want to, when the delete button is clicked, yeah, we can take a look at this error now. This is nice. I like this. So it lets us know that it was a failure. So previously, I believe when Trunk built something, if there was a failure, it would just deploy the previous thing that it had built. So I kind of like having this now to show like, oh yeah, there is a failure. And it doesn't tell me where the failure is. That's unfortunate. But that's at least helpful. Expected a semicolon. I missed a semicolon. So I have let delete on click equals that. Okay, we have a semicolon there. I mean, semicolon there is fine. Why does it, okay, so why does it now expect a semicolon at the bottom of the file? Expected right curly. Okay, so, oh, an unclosed delimiter. Oh, that's what the problem is. I have an unclosed delimiter. Did I somehow delete? Okay, so I have an open and close there. Okay, so I have an open, open, close, close. Okay, this opens here, and that closes here. Okay, let's just undo this and start over again. And let's wait and see when this has a problem. We'll create the callback first. Is it oh no, it's a mouse event. Okay, so far so good. Oh, did I miss it in here? I must have missed it in there. Yeah, because that's not there anymore. Well, when in doubt, just redo it. All right, so now there's where we get our deleting. And so I want to emit this out as an event. I probably want the ID. So the ID is going to be a... What did we decide? I think they're U32s. Oh, and then I need the ID. Yeah, that is the U32. Okay. Okay, so that makes us happy there. Which means we need to go one level up. So wherever this is used, wherever this is used, which is in the pages, one post. And so here's on BB post. Okay, so here's can edit, disable navigation, on edit. Blah, hello, good morning. How are you doing today? Do people in web dev ever refactor their code into smaller files, or is it more a norm to get used to 200 line files? So I would love to tell you that everybody refactors into smaller component files, but not everybody actually does it. I've like in almost every single company that I've joined, when I like onboard onto their main app, it's just gigantic files, gigantic controllers, gigantic everything else. This is especially true if you get like backend developers who are trying to do front end work. Like they tend to create like a huge line number files, and I'm not sure exactly why, because like if you go back to their backend code, it's usually like really good. So I don't really know why that pattern wouldn't follow to the front end too. Unless it's just like trying to avoid writing front end as much as possible. So you're just adding something and then just leaving. It also depends on the file. If they're all UI related, that can't. Yeah, that's also true. Like here, a decent number of lines in here is like this is already 91 lines. And most of the logic here is just the event handlers to like figure out what's happening and then emit that back out. That's not really much you can do about that, unfortunately. You're kind of back-endy. I think it's the way imports and shared code works across the front-end base. Okay. I think also the other thing is that component, like thinking in components for front-end is vastly different than thinking about modules in the back-end, because we usually think about modules of like separated logic and other things. In the front-end, we have to think components, and that changes things a little bit. There's not a lot of inheritance or composition compared to how you write stuff for handling logic. Yeah, it's actually, inheritance can be, like inheritance is possible to do, but in component-based stuff, like components aren't the same as classes. And it's really easy to like accidentally fall into the thing of like, oh, it's just a class, right? But it's not going to work. Sinkovich, hello, how are you doing today? Have I tried the Leptos front-end framework? We have. We did an exploration on Halloween. So if you go back to YouTube, actually, I might be able to find it. Let me see if I go to YouTube, can I find Brooks builds exploring Leptos? Yeah, okay. Oh, come on. So I think it was this one 1 month ago. Yeah. So if you go partway in, yep, it was the Halloween one. So if you're willing to handle me being in a Bob Ross costume, this is where I tried Leptos and played around with it a little bit. I like it. It's I'm always a little bit hesitant to start using a library, especially if like most of it's not required in Nightly, but its documentation says you must use Nightly to use all the features in here. And I think there's one feature that like is not in Nightly anymore, but like that's like I tend to shy away from that for like actually building things in production yet, or tutorials or anything else. So I'm sort of waiting for that to no longer be a Nightly, and then we'll add it to our repertoire to like do stuff with. But I do like it a lot. Okay, so what were we doing? We added in that thing. Okay, so we're in pages one post. Okay, so we have our on edit here. So let's go. Okay, so here's on edit. So now I want, wait a second. Did we actually finish this? Is this doing anything? Did we actually finish edit? I should not just, okay, let's just remove all the exclamation points now. Yeah, okay, that works. Yeah, okay, so on edit is working. What is up with this? This is just, I'm just logging on edit. I'm not logging. This is not being used. Now I'm confused. There's our can edit. Nightly is just sugarcoating the closures. You can simply add a .get and use table. Yeah, I guess like the thing for me, I have to keep in mind that like there's beginners, there's like new people to Rust using it, and suggesting like I don't necessarily want to suggest that they want to like start over and just start using like nightly as soon as they run into anything like that. So I guess it's a modeling thing. It's like it's only a problem that I run into because I'm doing teaching type stuff. And if I wasn't doing that, I would probably have a different opinion on using nightly. Okay. Why are you a thing? In BB post, this is pages one post. Yeah, so pages one post. Where is the actual edit happening? Is the edit happening elsewhere? Is the edit happening in BB post? It is. Oh, that's why. Okay, so I should just remove this on edit. And we can remove on... Should I remove on edit? What I should really do... I think I wrote this logic in the wrong place. We should move this on edit logic out. Because this should really be in the parent. Not in a normal component. It should be in a page. Yeah, the sugarcoating does simplify the mental model. I think it's more... I don't know. There's this entire philosophy in sort of like teaching of like, okay, what things should we show off when we're doing? Because sometimes it can get a little bit confusing, and I don't want to run people into like, oh hey, just switch over to nightly whenever something doesn't work. Because if you go to a company and they're like, oh yeah, I got it working, and they're using nightly in a company, that's not a good thing. I wouldn't suggest any like company lightly choose nightly. Okay, so maybe let's go back to the README. Okay, so as user, I want to update. So move logic for updating to page. So we're going to actually do the correct component inside of here. So we're going to do it the right way. All right, so we have on delete. So in the pages, we're going to create a now we have an event in which this is actually going to be the ID, isn't it? Okay, so I should be able to now do a glue console log here. There you go. Okay, so that works. And if I go back and I choose like a different one, that's a different ID. Okay, perfect. And it matches what we have in the URL. Okay, so what happens when we want to delete? Oh, we need to go to the API and add in a delete. Togglebit, rating with a party of 102. Welcome Togglebit. Welcome Raiders. How you all doing today? And Togglebit, how is the stream? I'm assuming you're feeling better these days. I remember that you had the COVIDs recently. Was almost 99, but we have some heroes. Nice. Diablo, hello. Toggle's rated. Everybody run. Oh, you did, but now you feel rough again? Oh, I'm sorry about that. I saw in your go live message that you were like trying to get over the finish line. Is that with Anathema? No, Anathema is not right. What's the... It's A something. Last feature, nice. Okay. All right, well, have a great rest of your day. Rest up. Hopefully you feel better soon. Temporis, hello. He's going through each COVID in turn. Oh no, that's not great. Toggle is anti-clone. He thinks all ideas should be 100% new ideas, and he thinks Discord is profitable. Everyone point and laugh. Anathema. Okay. Wait. No. What is it actually called? Is it called Anathema? Is that what I said? I don't remember anymore. It was A something. Ivano. Welcome. Also, thank you for getting a membership on YouTube. I have to remember because it's not subscription. Like YouTube, Twitch has subscriptions, YouTube has memberships. Okay, the TUI is actually called Anthema. Oh, interesting. Sandeep Yadev, hello. How are you doing today? For university project, I would like to know your motivation behind this channel. Okay, so I was correct. It is Anathema. All right. Okay, so motivation. So I started Brooks Builds before I started going on Twitch. I started it back when I was teaching. We did a week-long thing where we would tell the students, and it was a teaching at a code school. It was a 6-month code, it was a 6-month code school. We told students, okay, we've been teaching you JavaScript. We've been teaching you all these specific things in JavaScript. Now for this week, you're not allowed to use any of the things. Like if you're going to use JavaScript, it has to be like a very different framework or something else, but we'd prefer you to do a different language altogether. And by the end of the week, like we have challenges every day in like new things. And by the end of the week, we want you to build an API and like show it off, like present it in front of the class. And enough students were telling me like, I can't do that. I can't build something until I learn the thing. And I got sick of that. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over into one of the conference rooms, and all students who want to join in, just come and drop by during a lunch hour, and I'm going to build something that I have in an unfamiliar language. I'm gonna be courageous and like just show off and model what this looks like. And that was great. That lasted for a couple weeks before different campuses started saying like, hey, can we heard you doing something interesting. Can you bring us in? And so eventually I was like, okay, I'm just going to stream this on Twitch because it'll be easier for people to watch this. So that's how Brooks Builds started, because it was just me building stuff for students. And then of course I left that job and Brooks Builds remained. It just has switched from those specific students to, hey, I'm going to do stuff for everybody. So that is the motivation behind this project, to model how to learn, essentially, and then also teaching. Like I've added that into my repertoire. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming by on the the raid, we are working on an X Twitter clone. So we're doing this in lieu of actually making a full course for you, because you is still pre 1.0, and as we've learned, updates happen often enough that I probably shouldn't create like a full course until 1.0 happens, because then it's a little bit more solidified. So therefore, what we have right now is a very simple application. We can basically create a post. We can click into a post. We can see the replies to a post. We can edit a post. And we're working on delete for the post. So that's going to be the final feature for this feature. And we do a lot of development of this type. I'm sure a lot of you have come in on raids and previously, so you probably know the general type of thing that we're doing here. Go full pelt into a wall, bang your head against it until your brain recognizes it, reorganizes itself so you get enough to run into the next wall. That's your model of learning. That works really well. It takes a lot of self courage to do that type of thing. Your model learning is just creating new whatever from scratch, a lot easier than dealing with somebody else's bugs that they won't fix. That's a great way of learning also, because like you start from the beginning. Like there's you have to walk your way up the ladder, which means you also have to like get a understanding of it, especially if you work in different contexts, because that's the big thing that hits a lot of people. All right, so we are creating right now a delete function. So I have an API that we created in previous stream using Axum. So we want to hit that API and then do something with that. So for our URL, so what is this? This is going to be our base URL, our API URL. Okay, so that goes to that. So then I want API v1 posts an ID, and then we're going to send a delete to that. So we're going to do glue net http request delete URL. We don't need to send any JSON in there. We just need to send it. We will await you and question mark you, and that's pretty much it. And if we get to this point, everything went well and we've deleted it. It helps to watch someone else face wall first, so you don't have to deal with as much pain. Sometimes some people can definitely like deal with that, and some people have to have the pain themselves, like Temporis, you're saying. Like everybody needs like has different needs. Like there's a reason why like customized education is such an important thing. Encouraging students to see it as normal and even get a good practice, get used to. Yes, that's a huge thing. Embrace the struggle. So in the more theoretical education type thing, we call this growth mindset. Growth mindset is the thing where you're just embracing that you don't know, you're not as good as you are today as you will be tomorrow. There's a static mindset, which is the opposite, where you may not like consciously think about this, but like subconsciously we might think, oh, we're as good as we are right now. Like that's it. Stick and dip. Hello, how are you doing today? You struggle so much, people think I'm a masochist. I think that is the term. Yeah, that I think that is the term for that. So one of the things that I try to do on the stream is just show off learning live, because like I'm gonna struggle, and I think there's not enough senior devs out like on here showing off active learning. Most of them want to show off like the project that they're working on, or doing something like really hard, but like actually showing off really learning like is really tough. That's your biggest worry about Copilot and LLMs. They'll allow junior devs to not learn the how and why and only copy paste. Well, if we think about it, they were doing copy paste before Copilot and LLMs. I think it just made it easier to do copy paste, because like now you don't have to do quite as much like Google searching. You don't have to learn that skill quite as much. But as Diablo was saying, you run into a wall really quickly. So there's actually I have the thing from yesterday. There's this thing called Bloom's taxonomy, which is a triangle like this. And so when you're a super beginner, you're down here in memorization stage, which all you're doing is you're looking at just memorizing things. You can't even like transfer from like one domain to another or one context to another. And so Bloom's taxonomy, this is a educational theory type stuff. So like education dorks like myself really love this. Or maybe it's geeks. Maybe I should just name it as like it's a geeky type thing if you're like really into education. So the idea is that if you're down here in memorization, this is the reason why Stack Overflow and LLMs are so attractive as a beginner. It's a nerd thing. Okay, so it's a nerd thing. Yeah, I'm nerdy about education. Let's nerd out on this. When we're in memorization, you literally can't do anything but copy and paste. And so this is where like a teacher tells you, just do this. And then you do that, and then you feel good. And then oftentimes we get overconfident, just a little bit overconfident at this stage, because we're like, hey, I totally learned it. I did it once. I learned it. I'm awesome. The problem is that you don't have something called transfer. And transfer is when you can take it from one context to another context, and it works. Like you actually figured out, because there's subtle differences. Like if we're up here, like I would imagine that there's a decent number of us that are up here in like something in our life, at least one thing in our life. That is like, you get up here when you're like, oh, we're in, I see all the differences. Like you see the LLM give you the bad information. You know it's bad information. Even if you don't know the information, normally you can tell that it's wrong. You can only do that once you're up here at the top of the triangle. Down here, you just have to blindly accept that it's true. And you don't know what you don't know. Check out Webb's depth of knowledge. All right, I'm going to check that out. Let's see. Is there like a Wikipedia article on that? There's a lot of articles. Oh, cognitive rigor. Interesting. Okay, cognitive rigor is the combined model of Bloom's taxonomy and Webb's depth of knowledge, which of course there are no, let's see. There's no article for Webb's depth of knowledge. That's too bad. But that's really cool. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a look at this and sort of read through it. That's really cool. Also, Tigora, hello. You're somewhat into Minecraft Redstone. It's pretty obvious how awful LLMs are at that. But since they trained it a lot more code, the code is a lot harder to evaluate. Yes, the more experienced you are at something, though, the more you're going to be able to see that it's wrong. If that makes sense. It's like if you're down here, even if it's like redstone, if you're like let's say imagine that you're a 6-year-old kid, and you're just starting to play around with redstone to begin with, and so you ask your LLM, because you've now grown up in an age where you have access to an LLM, you ask it to help you design a redstone, and it tells you a bunch of stuff to do. It's super confident sounding because that's what LLMs do. You think that it's right, and here's the insidious problem. Because you don't know anything, you assume that the teacher, in this case the LLM, is correct. When it doesn't work, you assume that you implemented it wrong, and not that the teacher was wrong. And that is really bad. That is really, really, really bad, because now this student is most likely going to give up. The best way to learn: always assume the teacher is wrong, trust nobody, verify everything. Yeah, I mean, it's true, Chigora. Like, I generally, I think like there is also invention when it comes to like education type stuff. I do feel that this is a good mental model to describe to people, because when you're over here in memorization, that's like super easy to know if you're here. Like these things, like in the middle, I almost like don't even care about these. It's basically here and like anywhere above that. That's really all that matters. But yeah, so basically that's what we're going on. I love chatting about this type of stuff too. I'm gonna take a look at the next ones, and we'll chat. I'll chat about it with my education friends too, because like they're big into it as well. I went to school in the US, teachers suck and will repeat anything the book says instead of actually double checking. Oh, and they'll punish anyone who brings in great authority. They're nut jobs. There's so much wrong with traditional education in the US. And that could be an entire rant. We can schedule an entire stream, and that's all we can talk about. And I could probably do it for like an hour or two and like would not be done with it. I trust everyone and I don't verify anything. Let's effing go. Yeah, that works, right? All right, I'm now a Google sponsor. I'm sorry. Except I guess I'm sponsoring them, right, in that case, because I don't get anything from it. All right, so let's continue on with this. So I want to send this off. That should send off, so this should work. So let's head back to our pages one post. I want to call this. Now I have this callback from, but I actually don't want to do a callback from like this. I want to use my dispatch. So I have this dispatch. How am I capturing my screen? How I do it? Okay, so it's two things. First off, I'm running OBS on a Windows computer, and so I have two computers set up for this. So I'm using OBS on my Windows computer. And I'm using a Elgato HD60S Plus to capture the screen and then split it. So that way I have my notebook next to me. I have the main screen in front of me that you're seeing in a large monitor. And if you ever see me look up, I'm looking at my Windows screen where I have OBS running and then also YouTube chat. So that's what I'm running. Now, that being said, I've run OBS on Mac and Linux before. It works perfectly fine. So you can actually just get set up, install OBS, capture your own screen, and then you're just good to go. So OBS is the way to go. OBS Studio You want OBS Studio, the latest version. It's free. It's, as far as I can tell, the best in class for what it's trying to do in the industry. I haven't really seen, like, when you start seeing all the streamers that like make a lot of money switch away from it, then you know that there's a new thing going on. But they're all using that. Or I probably shouldn't say all. Most of them are using that. It's you're right. It's definitely not the teacher's fault. It's the system. It's the system. But there are some teachers that aren't there to like provide the best education. They're there to like feel good about themselves and show off like how much they know. Now that's mostly in like tech education type stuff. You get that a lot in code schools. That sucked when I was working at a code school and like we hired teachers. The number of like software engineers who would come in and said like, hey, I want to do teaching. It should be pretty easy, right? And we're like, okay. And then we're like, okay, we're gonna do a mock lesson. Teach us for like the next 15 minutes how to like, you know, write a function, how to do stuff. And like they launch into this like and we even like told them ahead of time. They had like a week to prepare exactly what lesson to write. And they would launch into like a advanced like, okay, behind the scenes, like this thing is being added to the stack. And we're like, okay, these people have been learning programming for like a week. There is no way at all that that lesson is good for them. Like you don't get it. You don't get who your target audience is. College lecturer mode, yeah, they're just trying to like show off how much they know to us. But then I've also seen that like we've made a mistake of hiring one of those, and they did the same thing to students. It takes you have to like figure out where the student is and meet them at that level, and that is hard. Like teaching somebody how like a for loop works, how a variable works is hard. If you've never done that before, it's heck, if you're in the area, if you're in the point where like you're just starting to learn how programming works and you've never done that before, I feel you. I've like, you know, having taught that multiple times, it is a hard thing. Keep at it. There's solutions to it. Okay, we're using Udux here. Udux is our centralized state management. So we're gonna do dispatch, reduce, mute, future, callback with. This takes in you. We're probably gonna have to move you in here. We're gonna have our state and then the event. The event is gonna give us a U32. We have to return a box pin with an async move block in here. And then this all returns out to the on delete. So we can now mutate the state inside of here. So we're gonna first call, so we're gonna match on the API, delete post, pass it the ID, which means we need the ID. Oh wait, no, we have the ID. We have the ID. Now that should move in here / copy because U32 implements copy. Okay, delete post, copy, that, and then we're gonna await. And then we have an okay. Okay, so if it's an okay, nothing happens, and we're gonna do something. I want to delete the post from our post, and then, but if it's an error, we're gonna get an error. And I want to, let's see, pretty much nothing's going to happen here, right? I just want to probably log out that something went wrong. So we'll do a glue console error. This is error deleting host. And then we can take the error and toString it. And that's it. Like, I don't really need to do anything out of this. Oh, nice. Okay. Dr. Russell Barkley. It's good to see. It's good to like have multiple, like better instructors like showing off. And I think YouTube is helping with that. However, also there's the number of times that students would tell me, okay, just please lecture to me. Like that's good education, right? And we're like, no, lecture is the worst possible type of education. Don't do it. And then we refuse, and then we'd have a then they would revolt. Pete's, hello. Twitter clone, big ambition. How about Blue Sky? It is very simple. It's basically a CRUD app. It's not like many of the Twitter's features. Although I do have delete. So like we have more features. So there's that. Sometimes lectures are good depending upon how good a storyteller. So there's oh, you're building a Reddit clone. Nice, excellent. Okay, so fun fact here. In a lecture, around 20, maybe if you're lucky, 40% of the students are going to like get things from the lecture. Like and by lecture I mean teacher stands up at the front of the classroom and talks. Sometimes like shows off stuff, sometimes models things. Around 20 to 40% of the students will sort of like get that. But that's also the same percentage that they would get if you didn't go up there and talk and you just showed them a book that had the things in there. So if like that's not enough, that's not a big enough that's not a big enough percentage to really like defend the lecture. It really sucks. It really sucks. There are things that you can do in the lecture to like increase that number, but like at most you can get it to like 80%. So you have to break out and do activities and like self-learning and other stuff. There's a educational researcher called, I don't have his book in front of me, so I forget his name. But he talks about like, here's how you can change that, and it can get good. Climate change doesn't bargain. Hello. Blue Sky is actually more difficult than Twitter because Blue Sky is decentralized. Oh, I didn't realize that. I've never used Blue Sky. I haven't like looked into it. I just knew that it was a new Twitter clone. I have never built a decentralized app. Lecture within the span of attention. There's a lot of you can do lecture, but then don't make it only lecture. It has to be like lecture in a state of things. Like my favorite method to do is like a 15-minute lecture followed by supervised activities in the classroom, and then the goal is to make it so that if somebody comes by and like looks in, they can't tell where the front of the classroom is because the activity is going all around it. Like I'm not at the front talking for most of the time. I'm like walking around the students, like helping them out. That's the idea. So you hate live lectures. They're awful because the format. You all often run a lecture or a talk or a particularly good podcast like 2 or 3 times to really understand it. That's what ends up happening, having to happen. Yeah. Albert, you have an English presentation due in around 30 minutes about a day in your dream job. I hope that you have it like done already. Otherwise, that's going to be a lot of bullshitting. Okay, so let's see. So we have this error. Now, if we've successfully deleted the post, what I want to do is remove it from our state. So I don't have to like do a get all again. And we are only deleting top level posts for this exercise. So we can now go to our store and we can say, okay, let's go find pop function. We're going to just do delete top level post. We'll mute self. We'll take in the ID. We don't need to return anything. We're just going to mutate. So I just want to find the index of this and then delete it, which I think I can do, right? So like let some index equals self dot post. Now is there, now there's find, let's see, index. I don't want to do index. There's a vector thing on a, oh, we have to iter. Now find will actually find the thing, right? And then return it. I want to find the index. And there's no index of or something like that. Handelfa, hello. How are you doing today? Finally writing Rust? Yeah, we've been writing Rust for a while now, and we're not programming in Markdown. No, not programming in Markdown. What's the biggest learning curve thing with Rust? Probably everybody's gonna have a different one. It depends upon what your history with programming is. Like for me, it was probably more of memory management type stuff. All right, how can I get from the iter? I need to, no, I can get like an enumeration. Maybe that's what I need to do. Enumerate. Is there something to find an index? Let's see. So then I want to get the iter. Wait, is there anything in here for index? Oh, those are these are in trait section. So I don't see that. Okay, so let's, nope, not output. Just wanted to click over here, go to search. Oh no, I wanted to find iter. Turns an iter. In Yew, okay, it's as slice. Ooh, okay, so I don't. So one of the negative things about Rust is like discoverability of stuff. Like if you forget the name of it, is really not there. Sahil, thank you. Also, hello. How are you doing today? I guess like the, hey, what I can do. All right, this is probably not the best way to do it, but I can enumerate find map. We're going to take in a function here. So this is going to be a post. So I want to return, not just a post. index post, and then I think I have to return, what is it, an option? Yeah, there. Okay, so then I have to return an option. So if the post that ID is equal to ID, then return some ID. Otherwise, return a none. And then also in here we have this else, in which case I just want an early return because we're done. This is fun. So okay, so we're gonna do let sum, extract the index out that we got. That oh wait, no, wrong one. I want to return some index. Yeah, so now I know it's okay. It's the U size. Okay, so we get the index of this if it exists. So if it does exist, I now want to delete that. So I want to do self dot post. Is there a delete? Is it remove? It's remove by the index. That's it. Before you started watching the stream, that line of Rust would have been incomprehensible to you. Yeah, this gets like interesting. The thing that took me the longest to learn and memorize was the word enumerate, of like just mix in the index. Well, like this is pretty common for other languages too. So like it exists in here. Are you using Helix? How's it like setting up? It's pretty simple for setting it up, like especially if compared to other CLI editors like NeoVim. So I like it a lot for that reason. Also, I like having the inline type hints. For my specific brain, I need that there because I constantly check back in it. So I like it. All right, so that works. We're gonna go back to one post. I want to now delete. So I have access to the state. We're gonna do state dot delete top level post and pass it the ID. And that's it. Oh, right. They just updated, right? With NeoVim to include that. I think I haven't really been paying attention to NeoVim. I know that like it was waiting for some kind of update to do it in line in the normal ones, as opposed to the end of the line, which is what they had before. Oh yeah, that definitely gives it to you. Nice. We'll have to it's native to NVim now instead of needing a crutch. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I think the crutch was put at the end of the line. But now that it's at the beginning of, like in the middle, that is really nice. I like that. We'll have to, I say that, I'm gonna add it to my to-do list to like redo NVim configuration again, this time with inline type hints. So, oh wait, is this nightly? Oh, it's not until the end of winter 2024. Oh, okay. So never mind. Never mind. Not doing that. Yeah, the big thing is like I don't like using nightly stuff. Sometimes I use nightly things for this type of stuff, but not for like business things. And technically, this is business, so hopefully it gets out earlier, but we'll see. Okay, so that works. Let's test this. Let's see how it works. So here I am. Let's not delete Zilby. That seems terrible. We're gonna delete will work. Well, that just made this disappear. That's great. If I come back to here, I had so many will works. Let's but one thing is when I delete this, I want to go back to the top level. So let's see. After we delete, we need to navigate to the top level, which means we need the use navigation. Use navigator. We can safely unwrap here because we're within that navigation tag that's at the base of the app. Navigation, then we can pass into here. So on our delete, so I have to move you in here, then I have to move you in here. So okay, okay, so then that will allow you to move into here, and now I can use it. So our navigation, I think it's push. We need the route. And then I want to go to home. So, oh, it wants a reference to the enum home. Okay, so now let's do this again. We're here. We have will work 3 times. Delete, that takes me back here, and now I have will work 2 times. You just start deleting everything that's not Zilby. Zilby, by the way, is our kitty cat. He's here. I would always, he's sort of listening to me. But he gets, he doesn't like it when I like just pet him without him knowing. He gets sort of like shocked. He trusts that I'm not going to do that to him. So yeah, now delete is working, and I'm deleting this. Now in the back end, this is deleting, this is doing soft deletes. So it's actually just setting the deleted at, but when we request them all, it doesn't actually get them. So here we're cleaning up. All we have is a tweet about Zilby now. So there we go. Best catto? Yeah. He is pretty awesome as a cat. Except when he's, you know, being, you know, not nice to me. Like this morning, he really wanted to play this morning, but I don't have much time to like get here and like do our thing. So he's like, I'm gonna, you know, attack your ankles, which of course hurts because I need to clip his claws, and that wasn't fun. Orange cat zoomies, yeah, it's better when I do have time to play with him. I'm hoping that like soon my schedule is going to change again, and I might be able to do something where I have like give him time to play with him in the morning and at night. He'll love it. It'll be awesome for him, and he'll like me more. And the more he likes me, the more he'll hang out with me when I'm hanging out with you. Okay, so this is good. We can delete. Now we put the logic in the wrong place for the editing the post. So let's go to our, I don't think this is going to be that difficult. So in our components, one post, we have this save edit on click. And then I have like all of this stuff that's going on. And really what I want to do is I want to do this. I don't need that thing. I want to do all of this stuff. Essentially, oh, you know what? Before we do any major surgery to this, let's commit this. So let's see. This is deleting a post. Yeah, if you're relatively new to coding, learn Git, like just the basics of Git will be good, because you want to be able to do major surgery like this without fear, like that. Just delete it. The Git book is worth reading. Yes. Just like, even if you don't learn how Git works, just learn the commands and get used to using it, because that's really, really important. All right, so then in here we have a, of course, symbols doesn't like actually give me anything. So I want on edit. No. I wanted that on edit. There. Paste you in there. I don't need that. It's this edit. Okay, it's this event. We want. This is giving us a mouse event right now, but I don't want that. I want you to be giving us probably like a tuple with the ID and the new text to do, right? No, I don't need that. I have the ID. So this is going to be just the text. So the, what is it called? It's, attribute value. That's what it is. Okay, so you're taking the attribute value like that. Okay, so you need an edit content state, which is, oh, this is the text. So I don't actually need that. We know what that is. Editing state, I don't care about that. I do probably so down below I should probably undo the deletion of that because I need some of those things, but we'll deal with that. Then we box pin. Okay, so let's save you and see where you're gonna get upset. Okay, a bunch of things. So you need the ID. We have the ID. Edit content state. So we want to have this be the event. You don't need a deref out, because we just have it as an attribute value. Editing state set to false. We don't need this at all. Okay, so that's just gonna do its thing. It's just gonna on edit the thing. Now, meantime, okay, so save you back to component. Meantime, when this happens, I want to emit out the on edit. So we need this callback again. No, that was not there. And then we need let props on edit equals props dot on edit clone. We're going to move this into here. Okay, so on edit, we're going to emit content state. Okay. Oh, this is props on edit now. Okay, so we're going to emit out the content of the text. It already has the IDs. That's good. Editing state set to false. Okay, that's good. We have a bunch of warnings, but I think the general idea should still remain the same. So here, let's go into Zilby here. Zilby's name, actually my wife named him. He really loves, she wants it to have the little 2 dots at the top. So let's update that. That seems to work. And then if I hit refresh, hey, that works. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've successfully updated on edit. So now it's up there. So let's see. I missed a bunch of stuff in chat. Togup is playing video games tomorrow. I want to play video games, and I so often don't have time. I keep on saying that I should do more like video games on stream, just so that I can play them, which would be fun. Maybe someday we'll do that. We'll have like, you know, cozy time in the afternoon. Instead of doing more coding stuff, we'll just do some games. Someday. But that'll be nice. Also, hello, Scott. For those of you who don't know, you can really easily commit per change instead of per file. Yes, that's true. The damage one can unknowingly do with Git is terrifying. I managed to delete nearly all other branches on the remote. Yeah, it's like, just learn the basics, and then for everything else, just play around with it on your own repo before you like play at work. I own Factorio. I have Factorio. In fact, one of my friends gifted it to me because he wanted to play multiplayer with him. I joined in, but it was apparently he and several other people, and I got immediately overwhelmed because he had already had like a full base setup I was only a day late to join in with him, and that was like, oh, this is too much. I need to but I do want to play it. I do want to play that. I've never done the rocket launch solo. I remember I played through the demo of Factorial. Like, this is amazing. I love this. And then I forgot about the game until it came out. And I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna buy this. And I just sort of like offhandedly mentioned, like, I'm just waiting until, you know, I have time to buy it, and then And then somebody's like, nope, you're playing it now. I'm like, okay. All right, so let's clean up our warnings. And then I think we're done with the project. Wait a second. So if I'm not using dispatch or state, then I don't need that entire thing. We're good there. Okay. This has screwed us in the past. I have my store app state, and I have this one here. So I want to tell it remove all the unused imports. The last time I tried this, it also removed a bunch of used imports too. So let's see. That just removed the one. That's okay. Wait, what? That's fun. One more warning here. We are not using this mouse event. Okay. The speed run for rocket launch is 1 hour 21 minutes. Yeah, no, I totally know it's a long game. I do enjoy those type of long game type things. The problem is that I don't usually give myself time to play them, but I do enjoy them quite a bit. Okay, so how about elsewhere? All right, so you are remove the unused import. Ooh. Okay, one more. Move that. Nope, wait. Move that. Okay. No more warnings. We're good with that. Okay. So back to Hugh. Let's just double check that everything's working. So I can just do like Zilby. Here, I'll do another one of these. Zilby is awesome. That shows up here. I can come here. We can reply to it. Hi, Zilby. Submit that post. Okay, so we have a comment here. If I refresh, they're actually there. We can edit this to then give him the right E. That's there. Refresh. Okay, that's good. And then let's just do like blah. That's there. We'll go in you and delete you. That takes us back, and that's good. Okay, we are good to go. And so with that, now is this like a reusable app, like an actual usable app? No, it's not. It's not something like this is what I would give like as an example of like a learning app. Like the point of this is just to practice with like Yew and the various technologies for it. And then you can sort of like go off into something else. So now we're going to starting tomorrow, we get to start playing with a new project. Factorial DLC is coming out, looking super good. Oh, it's been a lot. It has been out for a really long time without any DLC. Interesting. That's gonna be interesting. I played enough Factorial to get to the beginning research type stuff, but not really like past that. What is the cat looking at? He's looking at me. So I am directly that. So he's looking at me. He's probably wanting me to go up and feed him. All hail the Cato. Yeah. The Cato is good. Cato is great. Time check, and this is perfect because we reached the end of the time where we finished the project too. So thank you, Bimero. Also, Blah, you redeemed Pet the Cat. We can do that now. All right, that's a good pet. You know that was a reward. How many cat pets does that buy? 29. Yeah, I don't really announce when I like make changes to that, unfortunately. I want to like find more things that I can do with channel points. I feel like most of them are not that interesting, but I feel like we can do stuff with it. That would be fun. So yeah, we'll have to figure something out. Like every time I think like, oh, we can do something where I give him like a treat or something like that with channel points, but then it's not a good idea to do that without like making him do something. I don't have any treats down here, so I don't want to like, I can't give him a treat right now. But I don't want to like just make him overweight with you all like wanting to give him treats every 5 minutes, like because that's probably what would happen. So instead, like if I make him do a trick for a treat, that could be good. Fat Keto, no, he's a good weight right now. He the vet, last time we took him to him, the vet was very happy that she was like, oh, it's so nice to like see a cat that's not overweight. I'm like, that's so sad to like know that that's the norm. It's like I need to follow suit. I'm overweight, so I need to do what we're doing to Zilby. Okay, so anyways, it is after time, as Bimero reminded us. Let's see, is there anybody? Let's see. Nobody who I'm following is live right now. Or at least nobody I'm following who's doing like Rust dev. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and end it right here. And then I'm gonna get ready for my day job. So I do have a day job right now. I'm doing 25 hours a week, so I will be, but I do get done like 2 p.m. Mountain Time, and then I do an afternoon stream at 2:30. And during the afternoon stream right now, we've been exploring evolutionary coding in using GGEZ. So if you're interested in that, we'd love to have you stop by. So with that, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.